Nicholas and Meshech. Charles is new, I guess. So just a quick introduction for everybody so that we can get to know everyone, and Samu before we begin the session. My names are Anna Chinyoyo. I'm a program associate at SmartLab, and I'm going to be taking you guys through teamwork today. So let's start with Samu. Can you just have a quick introduction? Hi, Samu. Okay, let's move on to Nicholas.
Hello and good evening to everyone. My name is Nicholas Cosmas Mabula, a second-year student from Zumba University, pursuing Bachelor of Science in Information and Communication Technology together with management. Yeah, I don't think there's any more further than that, but pleased to meet everyone.
Nicholas, and welcome to the session. On to Charles. Can we hear a little bit about you?
Hello everyone, my name is Charles. I'm from University of Dar es Salaam, a first year student taking Bachelor of Science in Business and IT. Thank you.
Thank you, Charles. Furaha, can we hear a little bit about yourself?
Hi everyone, my name is Furaha. I could say I'm just a fresh graduate from University of Dar es Salaam, still waiting for graduation this year. And I took a Bachelor of Science in Computer Science.
Awesome. Hi, Meshech. Can you introduce yourself?
Hello, how is everyone? My name is Meshech. I'm a student at DIT, Dar es Salaam Institute of Technology, pursuing computer engineering, second year currently. Glad to be here.
Thank you. Hi, Baruti. Can you give us a quick introduction? Oh, that's okay. So welcome guys to the session. Baruti's mic has an issue, so we'll get to know him as we go. So as I said, I'll be taking you guys through teamwork. That's our session for today. So I'm gonna just share the screen real quick so we can go through the session. So just to begin the session, I'd like to hear from every one of you and their understanding when it comes to teamwork. Can we start with Nicholas?
Okay, talking about teamwork, my general view and understanding is that coming together, bringing together different efforts, physically and mentally, in order to work upon a certain goal, to attain a certain goal. This can be from 2 and above people.
Thank you, nice answer. On to Charles.
Okay, as I understand about teamwork is the group of people that have the same goal in doing something or taking upon something, and they have the same goal and they make effort together. They join effort together to do something. That is all I know. Thank you.
Awesome. Furaha.
Based on my understanding, teamwork is a work done by at least 2 people with the same goal to achieve a certain outcome.
Great. Can we hear from Meshech?
Yes. So the way I know, teamwork is an effort done by 2 or more people, which who have a common goal to accomplish, and it is being done in an effective and an efficient way.
Great. To Kupala. Let's go with Samu then.
Okay, teamwork is when a group of people share their ideas or perform a certain task together in order to reach the intended goal.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So you guys had quite a great understanding of teamwork. That's basically it. So just to fill in what you already shared, teamwork is a group of people with different skills and different tasks who work together on a common project or a service. Whose mic is on? Thank you. So it's a group of people with different skills and different tasks who come together to work together on a common project or a common goal, with meshing of different functions and mutually supporting each other to accomplish something. So a good example of creatures that have really great teamwork are ants. I think you can agree with me. Every time you see ants, first of all, they're in groups. Second of all, they're carrying stuff that are way larger than themselves. But the way they handle that, everybody just plays a part somewhere and they just lift something that you would never imagine a creature that size would ever even lift. But they portray such good teamwork that everything is easily carried around, and they can, build, they can kill for food, they can do all that in unity and harmony. So this is one of the creatures that inspires me a lot when it comes to teamwork. So teamwork makes the dream work. For you to achieve anything in an organization or at school or anywhere else, you have to have really good teamwork. No man is an island, and two minds is better than one all the time. So why is teamwork very important? At this point in time, when you're still in school or you haven't actually gone to work somewhere, you might not view it as quite important. At this point, you might be focusing on your own self-growth and skills. But getting into the job market, you come to realize in most cases, whether you're just a developer or a software engineer or name it, in most cases, people of this profession are so laid back and they believe the best way to achieve anything is by having the best technical skills. And in most cases, it becomes really difficult for them to, blend in when it comes to teams and when it comes to workforce. So one among the things that most employers would look at are the skills you have that will enable you to participate fully and well in a team. So why is teamwork important? First of all, teamwork builds morale and synergy. In any organization, if you don't feel like you belong or you don't feel the urge to work, then certainly work is not going to be fun for you. You're not going to be productive. But on the same sense, synergy is quite important in a team because everybody depends on another person to achieve anything. No person easily works alone to get something done at its best. So if you have all these kinds of different capabilities and skills and experiences, bringing them together in synergy will be what makes the job way easier, or will be what makes accomplishment of goals way easier. So teamwork is also very important because it brings different ideas and perspectives. Everyone in their own way sees things in a different way. They've had their experiences in a different place, and obviously now they're quite different. So in most working environments, you'll find that there are diverse kinds of people who have different perspectives, different ideas, different ways of viewing things, different experiences. This one will be an introvert. This one will be an extrovert. This one has worked in the marketing industry for 7 years. This one has worked in the mining industry or whatever. So obviously when you bring in these different ideas and perspectives, then you create something really great and work becomes way smoother. And then teamwork is very important at the workplace because it's really, it gives you support. It's really supportive. If you are working on something and you have this whole bunch of people that have different skills and diverse knowledge, it's easy for you to pick from them and get the support you need when you want to execute a task or when you want to work on a project or anything like that. On top of that, teamwork is quite important because it creates opportunities for teammates to learn from each other. Mind you, when you're working with people, in a team, they come from quite different contexts and they have very different ideas and ways of viewing things. And for that, you will pick a lot of skills that you probably never had, or you will strengthen the skills that because you're working with people that's probably are better at it than you, or they're, less than what you have. So teaching or delegating or trying to make them understand gives you an opportunity to grow as a person. So you get to learn a lot, you get to grow a lot. Yes, it also reduces the workload because, as I said, you could take a good example of ants. Ants always walk in groups, and in the end, you find them carrying something that is way larger than their bodies, or things that you wouldn't imagine they would ever carry. But because they do it together and with synergy, they end up, executing larger tasks than they are. So generally, teamwork reduces the workload in a great extent. So I have put in place different kinds of teamwork models for you to just understand how a team can work effectively applying teamwork. The first one is the Rubin, Povnik, and Fry GRPI's model of team effectiveness. The model is called GRPI. It stands for goals, roles, procedures, and interpersonal relationships. So as one of the oldest models for team effectiveness, it was introduced by Richard Beckard in 1972 to help with understanding team behavior. It was then made popular in 1977 by Dr. Arwin Rabin, difficult names, guys. So the abbreviations, which are the goals, the roles, procedures, and interpersonal relationships, stand for things that I'm going to be explaining today. First of all, with goals, teams must have clear objectives and desired accomplishments in order to be effective without evident direction. It can lead to disputes and disagreements. So if the team doesn't have a goal that they're working towards, then they're obviously going to work without direction. And that leads to a lot of disputes in that and lack of agreements. So before you start executing anything in a team, the best motivation to have to work effectively in a team is to create a goal for the organization or for the particular project or program you guys are working on. And then in the end, everybody knows that this is what we are achieving as a team. They get motivated and they get the morale and energy to work towards that particular goal. So if we don't have direction, we don't know by the end of this particular task, what are we supposed to achieve, or where are we headed as an organization or as a team. It creates a lot of disputes and disagreements and shambles. Then it's sort of a mess. But then there's roles. Each team member needs to know their responsibilities, where the authority ends, and what the of the team's goal. If you are in a situation where you're working in a team that you don't understand what you're supposed to be doing or what part of the job you're supposed to be doing, then it could lead to conflict because you would end up maybe doing somebody else's job. It could be outside your authority, probably a job that a leader would be doing, and then find yourself doing that. In the end, creates a lot of conflict and the team becomes ineffective. But then There's procedures. In any environment, whether it's working environment or family or at school, there are always procedures. If you do not know what kind of procedures to follow when it comes to decision making or when it comes to workflow, it creates a lot of conflict and misunderstanding because you won't know which route to take when you're trying to make a particular decision. You might go beyond your boundaries, probably make decisions that were supposed to be made by your CEO, but just because you are unaware of the procedures of, then you could end up making such decisions which could probably cause a lot of losses or misunderstanding, or sometimes even legal issues. But then there's also interpersonal relationships. It's crucial for team members to develop relationships with one another outside work, which are based on trust and good communication and adaptability. This is why you find in most cases, most companies will have things like family day or maybe days that the team could go just outside work and maybe drink or play sports or games just to have that bond outside work that will create a good relationship that will enable them to smoothly work together. But on top of that, I would just like to explain that this particular model is best for teams that have maybe lost their direction and they're trying to get back the things. So if your team is losing direction, it's best to just come back and look at the goals that you guys set. They could probably be irrelevant for the particular group, and then assign roles again to make sure everybody is playing a part in the organization. And then just go through the procedures into doing everything. If they're not matching or they're not as effective, then you could create others. Like this person will be doing this and this is your limitation, and this one could be doing this and this is how it's supposed to be done. These are supposed to be the routes you take when you're making a decision. If you're going to be creating, for example, an application, and so if you are done with your task, which could be maybe designing the UI UX part, then you take it to so-and-so, you report to so-and-so, and this is how your task is completed. So procedures are quite important. And then there's interpersonal relationships. If your team is in a bad place, then there's a possibility that the team doesn't have a bond. That means if I'm not comfortable with working with my colleague, then I cannot perform effectively. You know, I have to be able to talk to you comfortably and freely with trust and believe that you're going to help me or support me in my task for us to meet our goals together. So interpersonal skills are interpersonal relationships within the workplace are quite important just to simplify the whole process of teamwork. And on top of that, we have another model, which is Tapman's Fsnp model. This is also an abbreviation for forming, storming, norming, and performing. It's made up of the 4 sequential stages in a group development. There was an early or a late change or an addition by Mary Jensen. She added the 5th stage, which was adjourned, but mainly it's the 4, which is forming, storming, norming, and performing. This model mainly explains stages in the formation of a team, from when people meet to when people complete a project together. It's based on mainly short-term projects or short-term programs that people are going to be working with as a team. So the first stage, which is forming, has a little bit of conflict, a little agreement, and clear purpose, because people are just getting to meet, to know each other. They don't know each other. Nobody knows how the other person works. So people are just meeting. And then there's the storming stage where there's conflict, increase of, the clarity of purpose. So this is what you're supposed to be doing now. This is where we're headed. And then there's a lot of struggle and people have to be coached to get to understand what they're supposed to be doing. And then there's the norming stage. This is where people start to agree and have consensus on things. Now there are clear roles and responsibilities, and then if there's a leader, then they just have to facilitate, and the work now starts to get done. And then there's the performing stage. Focus on the achievement of a particular goal, and now even the leader can delegate. People can delegate, and it's way easier to start performing and get the task done. And then there's the last stage, which is the adjourning stage. Now this is where the task is completed. Everybody is feeling good about what they've done and the part they've played in the team, and now there's recognition of who has done what. We congratulate who and for, you know. So this is just a simple explanation of so the forming stage, this is where team members first meet. And for that, everybody is used to working individually, everybody is used to working independently, and everybody has their own goals for, you know, coming into the team. They just don't have the bond at all. The objective is there for themselves at this point in time. And then there's the storming stage. This is the stage when people start to open up and trust begins to build. So everybody gets to know another person. They get to understand the working style of another person. Probably this person is a morning person. She will come in, she'll work from 9 to 11. She'll get their things done. And then the next time of the day, probably she's not productive. And then you get to understand that we have one other teammate that is slow, probably. You have to give them their work earlier compared to others. They take a longer time to execute, but they get the work done. And then there's this one, maybe is a night person. They don't like working during office hours. They will go home and make sure they finish their tasks. They leave or come to work and chill. You know, everybody has their own way of executing tasks. But when you understand how everyone operates when it comes to work, it's way easier to work together, because you know, like if I have to work on something with so-and-so, I have to get to her in the morning, we get it done really well. If I have to work with so-and-so, I have to let this person work on the project by themselves without supervision, you understand? So it's way easier for people to start working with each other during the storming stage. And then there's the performing stage. This is the stage where now the team is built. Now it's a real team. There's people trust each other. People are motivated to work. Everybody knows the goal and they're bought into it and they really want to achieve it. Now everyone is aggressive. Everyone is working together towards that goal. And then there's the norming stage, where team members now realize the importance of working towards the team's success, because now they understand that success success is not individual anymore. Success is when they both achieve the goal. So they take on responsibility. They start to accept and tolerate everyone's, you know, quirks for the sake of the group, for the sake of achieving the goal. And there's that joining stage where now the project or the program or whatever is over. People now are, you know, have finished performing, plans probably for another project, or there's acknowledgement and individual contributions in the group. So this basically suits people who want to understand various stages that make up a team development within a group project. This is mainly for short-term projects. And then there's a video over here. I hope you guys are gonna hear properly, where there's a thorough explanation of the model, the forming, storming, norming, and performance. So kindly just check it out. If there are any setbacks when it comes to the voice or anything else, kindly just tell me.
In a perfect world, new team members would work effortlessly together from day one. They would get along, communicate well, and productively focus on the team's mission. Unfortunately, we live in the real world. And as we know, it takes time for teams to reach peak effectiveness. Psychologist Bruce Tapman first identified 4 stages of team formation in the mid-60s. These are forming, storming, norming, and performing. They describe the process teams go through as people form bonds and learn to work together effectively. In the forming stage, most team members are positive and polite, but some of them might feel anxious. During this period, people make an effort to get to know each other. The next stage is storming. At this time, people push against boundaries. There's often conflict around personalities and different working styles, as people become frustrated with one another's differences in approach. Some people might even question the team's goals and avoid taking on tasks. Some teams never make it past the storming stage. The third stage is norming. This is when people start to resolve their differences, build on one another's strengths, and respect you as a leader. The last stage is performing. Your team members reach this stage when they're able to achieve the group's goal without friction. As a leader at this stage, you can delegate more work and spend time developing each person to be the best they can be. Most teams go through each of these stages, and there's a lot you can do as a leader to speed the process up and help your people get to the performing stage faster. To learn more about guiding your team through each stage, see the article that accompanies this video.
So let's get on to the next model, which is the Bunch and Smith model by John and Douglas. They developed this team effectiveness model in 1993 after studying various teams who were experiencing challenges in their work environments. So they defined a team as a small group of people with complementary skills that depend on each other, who are committed to a common purpose. A common purpose, performance, of course, and approach for which they are mutually accountable. The model suggests that there are 5 levels of teamwork. The first one is the working group, and then there's the pseudo team, and then there's the potential team, and then the real team, and then the team itself. Yeah, so at the first stage, which is the working group, team members are always operating individually because they just met, like we discussed in the previous model, where this almost looks like the forming stage, where people just meet each other, everybody has their own skills, you know, they came from a different probably organization or a different context. When they get here, they're used to operating individually and not together. So we can't really call it a team, we just term it as a group. And then there's a pseudo team. This is where team members, they think they're operating as a team, but in real sense, they're just working individuals. They're still working as individuals, they're still working as one person, just putting in their personal skills and efforts as individuals. They don't have the bond that a team has to have. And then they'll get to a stage where it becomes a potential team. So team members are starting to, to work together, starting to understand each other, and this could probably lead into a team. Most teams could get to this stage and end here, or some would just end as, working groups. But if you don't get to the real team, then that means, your work might have been, even if you accomplished something, but it would have been better. So the real team is when the team has accomplished a shared goal and probably they're working towards it, but they have a real bond and they're working together. And then the team. So at this point, the team members go beyond just working together, and they're dedicated to each other's development. They want to go beyond just the work relationship. So they already are going into interpersonal, relationships within the team. So this model suits teams with members who are finding it difficult to transition from an individual working mindset to a team working mindset. So some people are just used to being, they could be maybe introverts, or they're just used to working as a one-man person. But in most cases, you could have performed better if you allowed yourself to just bring that concord within the team and work together. But then there's the LaFaso and Larson model. In their version of team effectiveness model, These two studied 6,000 team members and leaders across various industries and organizations and came up with an element of an effective team. This model determines that although as an individual, we may possess high talent, it's useless unless we are able to figure out how we can pull our talents together to work as a team. It's a team that we can it's in a team that we can solve difficult problems, come up with complex solutions, like come up with innovative applications or stuff like that, only if we bring in a lot of talents together in one bowl and work and join hands to work together. But then we have an explanation of each team participant in this model, starting with the team member. So what kind of skills and characteristics does a team member possess, and are they right and fit for the role? So when you're assigning roles as a team, you have to look at somebody's capabilities, somebody's skills, somebody's morals, somebody's way of seeing things and their perspective generally before you assign them to a role that they can easily execute. So it's easier for a team member to be a team player if they can relate to the roles they're being given, depending on their characteristics as individuals and their capabilities. That involves like weaknesses and strength and their perspective of things. So you cannot hand a marketing position to a developer. They can do it probably because of experience or because of learning, but they can't relate to it because I'm used to coding and this is what I'm good at. You cannot assign a subordinate role to somebody who has the characteristic of being a leader. You will be underusing them as human resource, and they won't give their best because they don't feel the role, because they don't fit in that particular role. But then we have team relationships. When you select someone with a great attitude, then forming good relationships with the rest of the team will be so easy. But if you select somebody into a team that they don't have the right attitude, then it's going to be difficult for them to blend in. And in that case, the team will not be effective at all. And it won't be easy for them to, there'll be a lot of conflict and clashes and stuff like that, which you don't need for a team for them to perform. So this also goes the same way to people that are joining teams. If you feel like your attitude doesn't match the team, it's way better to just lay off or learn to match the attitude of the people in the team, because at the end of the day, if you don't have the attitude that matches what you want to be doing, then it's wastage of time. And then there's team problem solving. When there are good working relationships within a team, then it can assist in making group discussions and every other thing that involves work way easier and reduce conflict. You can never come into a conclusion or make a decision if you are not in sync at all and the team doesn't have the problem solving capabilities. And then there's the team leadership. Among the most important elements of a team is a good leader. A leader that encourages, a leader that engages, a leader that leads by example, a leader that acknowledges. This is a crucial aspect when it comes to success. A successful team. And then there's organization environment. The likelihood of commitment from a team is increased when they have, the right culture, the right company organizational culture. They have all the resources they want at their disposal. Just imagine going to work. You are a developer or you are a software engineer to a company or an organization where you just handed a team of people. There are no laptops, there's no electricity, there's no internet. You definitely cannot use your skills or even perform. And this will definitely demoralize the team spirit. It's so hard to work in such an environment. So a good organizational environment that matches what the team wants to achieve is one of the basic tools when it comes to effectiveness in teamwork. So this model is basically suited for people who want to learn about the dynamics of teamwork and collaboration in any organization. Mind you guys, you can just raise a hand when you want to ask a question. I'll be really glad to answer. And then we have the T7 model of team effectiveness. In this model, we have 7 T's, which are based on internal and external factors of forming an effective team. For the internal factors, we have 5 T's. These are words that begin with a T, but they are behind team effectiveness. And then we have external factors. They are also words that begin with T, but they're behind the factors for team effectiveness. Sorry guys about the heading, but we're still talking about the the 7 T's of this model. The first one is trust. The team has to have a shared purpose. That means people have to be working towards a particular goal together. And then there's trust. Team members have to have confidence in each other for them to really work together, because they can now rely on each other and they can put in together the efforts to achieve the team goals. And on top of that, we have talent, the skills that make things happen. So if we're talking about a product team, we're talking about all the skills we can gather to make the job possible. Yeah, and then there's teaming skills. The teaming skills is the ability to work as a team. So the ability to, bring in all the ideas and perspectives and efforts to just make the dream work within the team. And then there's task skills. These are mostly the technical skills. Everyone has to have them when they're getting into the team. So if we're a products team, if you're a designer, we need you to have the UI UX background and the skills that can help you execute the task. But also you need to have maybe coding skills or business skills, name it, just to achieve the task. We also have external factors that will enable team effectiveness. Again, we get back to the leader. Is the team leader fit? How well can the leader work with the team? If the leader is not supportive, doesn't acknowledge, doesn't do anything, just comes in and screams at you, or doesn't care to listen at the problems that the team is facing for him to solve them, doesn't have maybe problem solving skills, this is very frustrating for a team. And in most cases, the team cannot operate effectively without a team leader that fits for that position. And then there's team support from the organization. We also talked about this in the previous model, the environment that the organization gives you to work in. This includes the resources you need, the level of authority you need to do things. For example, your job could require you to make certain decisions, but if within the organization you're limited, that means you won't be able to perform your tasks effectively. And in that case, teamwork will be next to impossible. So this model is best suited for teams or people who want to understand the elements that impact team effectiveness and how they can operate within one another to achieve teamwork in their teams. And then I have just jotted down the skills to embrace when working in a team. The first one is communication skills. As simple as it sounds, it's one of the best, the greatest aspects in teamwork. If there's no clear communication, then there cannot be collaboration. They cannot be, consensus and harmony. They cannot be easy, operating in a team. Effective communication should involve, consistently updating each other about maybe if it's the tasks or, your own personal issues. If you come to work and you're not feeling well, or you go to a group discussion at school and you're not feeling well, the aspect of just telling people that today, this is my level of performance because I'm not feeling well is such a piece of information that will help your teammates know how to deal with your situation better. In that case, it's quite important to keep your teammates updated, to never assume that everybody has the same information, because everybody has their own way of perceiving and looking at things. But again, being a good communicator means being a good listener. You cannot always be talking. That will never bring harmony within a team, because first of all, if you don't listen, you'll never learn. And second, you will always cause conflict. There will always be clashes. Nobody will want to be in a situation where they're not listened to. So as much as you communicate, you have to listen to your teammates for your team to work effectively. In that case, it's quite among the most important skills you need to have. And in an honest note, most employers would look at this even in the first day of your interview. You need to be really communicative. And again, by listening to your colleagues, you get to show them respect and you get to earn their respect and trust. And this simplifies how you guys work with each other. Again, there's delegation. This is one among the most important skills, especially if you're a leader in a team. There are things that you can work on, but there are things that you can delegate for somebody else to work on. This will help your personal growth and your effectiveness in work. And this will help empower somebody else to be good at something that they're not good at or learn something new. So look at strengths of the people in your team. If there's something you are weak at, then pass it to them for them to keep strengthening their strengths. But again, identifying all aspects of the project and allocating tasks to the most appropriate team members is among the most easiest way to achieve goals in a team. And then there's efficiency. It's among the most important aspects too. And everything, for things to go, your team has to be really efficient and cohesive. This will create a system for you guys to excel in your projects. We also have ideas, as this is one of among the most important things that brings the team together. If everybody has their own ideas, everybody has their own source of information, and in that case, everyone looks at things differently. If you are respectful enough to trust your teammates to just easily and smoothly give suggestions and ideas, then it's way easy for you guys to bring in quite good and creative ideas into the team and then help you, bring good things or be collaborative during brainstorming sessions where you're trying to come up with something. Again, there's support. Nobody wants to work in a challenging environment where they're on their own and feeling all the pain without getting support from anyone. In that case, all workplaces provide challenges, but having a strong team environment in place can act as a support mechanism for staff members. You could have all the sorts of problems you have, probably at work, challenges and all that, but if you have a tight team that supports one another, work becomes way easier. Even the workload reduces. So teams will help each other improve their own performance, working together towards improving their professional development. And this will, in the process, they'll build bonds on trust and reliance on each other, and can be extremely important when facing a particular difficult challenge in a group or individual. If the group is forced to deal with the loss of a team member while continuing to maintain productivity, then they should be able to achieve that. This is it, guys. You haven't been asking questions. Sometimes I even wonder if you're still active. So are there any questions before we proceed to the assignment? Should I do a roll call? I hope nobody has slept. Hi, Samu. Kindly say hi if you're still around. Hi, guys. Can you even hear me? Hi, Nicholas.
Hi, I'm here.
Thank you. Hi, Charles.
Hi.
Thank you. Hi,
Hi,
Flora.
thank you.
Hi, you guys are still around. Thank you. So, unless you guys have questions, I think we should head to the assignment. I'm just trying to check how many are we so that we can simplify the discussion. We have Sam, we have Nicholas, we have Charles, we have Furaha, and then we have Baruti, Tukupala, and Meshach. Okay, so just explain how we're gonna go about the assignment. I'm happy that most of you were here yesterday, so it's not gonna be hard to just go and fill in the answers. So within your teams, of which we have a team, this is gonna be one team. For the session, the assignment for the session is to establish the following for your company. First, you have to come up with a company, which will have a company name, and then establish a team. And within that team, you have to establish team roles. First of all, we have CEO, and then which is Chief Executive Officer. So you will select one among you guys who is going to be the CEO. And then we're going to select another person who you think is fit to be a Chief Operations Officer. And then we're going to select another person who is fit to be a Chief Product Officer. And then select another person who will be fit to be a Chief Technical Officer, and another one who will be fit to be a Chief Marketing Officer. And below that, you have to give reasons for each role and why you gave the role to that particular person. So just to simplify the process, I'd love to get to know a little bit more about you guys. We already mentioned names, so now we know each other's names. But let's get to hear about your weakness and your strengths and your best skills. So I need to stop talking a lot. I think this is time for you guys to just come in and start discussing. I believe we can do the discussion here. So I would need a lady to lead. Furaha,
Yes.
are you there? Can you be our
Yes,
team
I
leader?
am. Sorry?
Can you be our team leader today and lead the discussion?
Yes, I can.
Do you know how to fill in the assignments? Or should I? So all you can do just
Yes,
go.
I do. I have to.
That's great. So as you guys discuss, you can just jot down the things you've discussed somewhere, and then just to match with the span of the 20 minutes for the assignment. When you're done, you can just fill in the answers in the assignments, Nini, at the dashboard. So you go to group 2 assignments and just fill it, put in the answers that you guys had agreed on and everything. So as I told you guys, you will have to develop a company and a company name, and then create a team and establish team roles, which are Chief Executive Officer, Chief Operations Officer, Chief Products Officer, Chief Technical Officer, and Chief Marketing Officer, depending on the strengths of everybody who is here and their abilities. So I think I'm gonna hand over the discussion to Furaha. You can now just keep going. You can lead the discussion.
Okay. Hi everyone, once more again. So as I was introduced, my name is Furaha, and maybe I should start a little bit talking. I should start talking a little bit about myself. I am from an ICT background, but currently I am working as a HR manager. We have a small NGO called Her Fingers Can Code, and so I'm responsible for the human resources. So one of my strength is I can learn things easily, and I can get so I'm a I have good communication skills, and I can befriend people easily. But one of my weaknesses is I care too much. So yeah, sometimes I just try to please everyone, and that it's not very good. So maybe we can move to the next person who will try to do the same as what I did. And I think we could go with Chukupala. Chukupala, are you here? Maybe Chukupala can, as we can't hear Chukupala, please, Baruti, can you go on? Maybe we'll come back to Chukupala later. Chukupala, I think we'll come back to you a bit later. Let's go on with Baruti. Baruti, if you have any challenge, you can just write in the chat. That way we can know what's going on. Okay, so Baruti is typing. While Baruti is still typing, let's go on with Charles.
Yeah, hello everyone.
Hi.
I'm Charles. One of my, I don't know when I can say my strengths. I like to work. What I like to do most, I like to do things that don't go too much in front of you. So I like to work from behind. I don't know if you can understand me when I speak like that. That is what I like most. Right? Like writing some codes and doing some things that keeps me busy. One of my weakness, I don't like to associate my issues with people, and I don't like to speak too much. I think something like that. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. What are you studying currently, if you're still a student?
Oh, currently I'm I'm studying business IT at the University of Dar es Salaam.
Okay, business is IT. Thank you, Charles. Let's
Okay,
go on with Meshach. Meshach.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey, so my name is Meshech. As I introduce myself, I'm studying computer engineering in DIT. I would go around saying one of my strengths is continuous learning. I do this by constantly challenging myself to new things as they come out. So I end up learning a lot. And one of my weakness would be perhaps I don't talk a lot. Maybe I'm kind of an introvert, so sometimes I have trouble sharing, but that would be it.
Okay. Thank you, Meshach. We still Nicolaus. I don't know if I pronounced your name well. Sorry if I pronounced wrongly. Cosmos, we can go with you.
It's okay. It's Nicholas. My name's Nicholas Cosmos Magula, and I am still a student at University of Mzumbe in Morogoro. Currently, I'm on my second year of study in which I pursue Bachelor Science in ICTM, that is Information and Communication Technologies Management. And what I can say about my strength is like I'm a person who likes learning more stuff. I'm more open-minded when it comes to stuff that I do not know and need to learn. I like accumulating upon materials. Other strengths of mine, I can say that I'm well and easy to get engaged into other people. Like I try my best to establish positive communication and positive-minded. Wherever I go, I can say that I'm a positive-minded person and like engagement with people. Among my weakness, I can say like I sometimes forget and end up carrying too much stuff on hand, like tasks, of which some might actually slip out, of which I'm not supposed to do. Also, I can say that one of my weakness, I don't know, this can act both as weakness and strength, but I like working in teams mostly, and that could be an advantage, but disadvantage of it is that I'm never really a one-man person to do stuff. So when it comes to individuals, tasks or stuff, sometimes I might actually lose direction because I'm more of a teamwork, I can say. Thank you.
Thank you, Nicholas. Let's go with Sam.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Sam Wangrem
Hello.
Songole. Can you hear me?
Yes, we do.
Yes, bro.
Okay, my name is Semo Agrem Songole, and I'm studying at National Institute of Transport. I'm in second year taking bachelor degree in information technology. And for my strength, I am a very optimistic person. I am open-minded. I'm also idealistic. I like managing my time well. I always work well with deadlines, and also I am confident. I'm not. I I'm very humble and I'm not judgmental. I don't like judging a person in any way. I respect everybody and I also respect myself accordingly. Also, for my weakness, I just dislike these delays. I really hate delays and that's all.
So you hate delays? You mean delays?
Uh, Delaying means that, let's
Ah,
say,
okay, okay, sure,
in
I get you. So I think until now everybody have shared. Maybe I think we didn't hear from Barut yet. Ah, okay. I've just written down. Okay. So Baruti have a hard time interacting with people. He's more into technical stuffs. As for Chukupala, likes learning new things. Weaknesses, I care about people's words so much that sometimes people take advantage of that weakness to do things which sometimes disrupt the inner peace and becoming unable to react. So according to what everybody have been sharing, we have 5 positions, and I would place Nicolaus into marketing, and as part of technical team, we'd go with, seems like a lot of people seems to be technical people. Sorry guys, I'm still looking at what you've been sharing. We'd go with Sam for I think for operations we'd go with Sam. And For production, we'd go with Charles. So we still have Baruti and Meshech and Kupala. Production marketing operations. So for technical team, we go with Meshech.
Hello. Hi.
Hi.
So, if you wouldn't mind, would you share why you would perhaps choose Meshech for the technical team?
For the technical part, because Meshech is into the computer engineering, and so also Meshech is interested in learning a lot of things, and often people into the technical teams is based on experience. They are introverts, but they do a good work. So yeah, that's why Meshech is in the technical team. I don't know if that would be bad, but I would appoint myself as the CEO. As for Baruti, Baruti would also go to technical team, but there is one more person who is to Kupala. Now let's switch Baruti to production and to Kupala to let's see. Baruti to production and Kupala to technical team. Is there anybody who has objections based on the roles that have been assigned? Hi.
Hi. Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
So Nicolaus said he would recommend Baruti to technical. So maybe I put Baruti to production because Tukupala said, I don't know if it's he, yeah, right. Tukupala said he cares most about what people say. So if you could go to production or operations and care much about what people say, it wouldn't be too good.
Okay, it's okay.
I think we're done. We just need to fill. I just need to fill the assignment. So maybe I'll need to hand
about the
over.
company name?
Cannot
yet come out with the company name.
Yes, of course. So we still need. Do you have suggestions about our company name? Maybe we'll need to know what we think we could be working. What we think we could be working on, so as to decide on our company name. Personally, I think a lot of people here are based in, if not everyone, are from ICT background. So maybe we'll have kind of a startup or a company that will be offering software solutions. So
Yeah,
would
that
we
would
come
be a
up
good
with a
idea.
company name? Okay. Is there anyone who would come up with a company name?
Excuse me. So it's only about the software, like, and there are no people in here who are dealing also with the hardware part, like the computer science people. Do you also guys deal with the hardware parts?
Yes, we could be doing hardware and software at the same time, as still within ICT or IT. Guys, are you there? Can we suggest a name? Personally, I would come up with a company named J Suits, and I would choose J Suits because J for joint, and Suit because we think about delivering different computer solutions, such as based on software and based also on hardware. What are your thoughts about that name?
Sorry, can you type the name? You mean the suit like of SWOT or the suit of SUIT?
Okay. Uh-huh. There is someone who proposed Aries Corp Limited. Maybe we should if you come up with the name, just try to say like a kind of justification on that, about that name that you have given.
Maybe someone should justify or type something about why Aries, like, does it stand for something or does it mean something or something like that? What do you say, Aries?
The answer of SEMO is developing websites and software solutions for different companies. Maybe the question is, why is the name Aries Corp? Is it an abbreviation, or so why is the name Aries Corp? I think that's a question.
Okay. I chose the name Iris Corp because Iris is a star sign most found in leaders. And when you look at it closely, you can find that people born under the star sign Iris are effective in their works, and they also perform world-class projects. So that's why I chose that name.
Okay. I think I would go for Aries Corp. What about others?
I would go for JSUIT.
Someone else? Can we have all, maybe you can type on the chat or directly. Okay, there is two. Who comes with next team company? When you come up with a name, please give a justification behind the company name. Charles Baruti said Aries Corp. Okay, so we have, I think we should go with Aries Corp because we have like 4 people. I've already chosen Aries Corp. Let's go. So we go with Aries Corp Limited. I think I'll hand over the floor to the hosts as we are already done with our task. By the time I'm still completing the teamwork assignment. And thank you guys for your input and for sharing.
Hi, Furaha. So are you guys done?
Yes, we are done. I'm just filling the answers.
Okay, that's fine. So you can keep filling it as you go, just to not waste any more of your time. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you so much. I had a great time in a wonderful session. I'm hoping to see you again on Thursday for the rest of the sessions. Tomorrow is a holiday. I'm wishing you guys the best holiday. Thank you again for coming and thank you for sticking around with us till these hours.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks
you for being such a wonderful group leader.
Thank you.
So I'll mark the answers tonight. You guys will see what how you've performed, which I'm sure you've performed really well because I've been part of the discussion. It's awesome. And have a lovely night.
Thanks, and same to you. Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you for the lesson.
Hey guys,
Bye,
before you go, can everybody just tell me how they feel about the session, what we should add, what wasn't working, and stuff like that. So I'll start with Sam.
Okay, for myself, I think the sessions are going well, but I would just like to add in something. If it's possible, can we have each other's contacts so that we can communicate even outside the session? It's just an idea.
Okay, so we were actually thinking today, we're planning on creating a WhatsApp group depending on the session. So it depends on what you mean by each other's contacts. You mean the facilitators or everybody's?
Everybody's.
So we're going to create a WhatsApp group so that we can keep communicating. In case you guys have a hard time doing the assignments or logging into the sessions, you'll be able to just communicate and talk. So we're doing that. We're going to create a WhatsApp group.
Okay, thank you. That's all.
So how do you think this has really impacted you? Before we go to somebody else, Samu, how do you think the session has really impacted you?
Well, the session are kind of helping me because previously I was having a hard time on deciding how to work with my projects, but now I can see that there's some improvements.
Nice. And from a rate of 1 to 10, how would you rate the session?
9.5.
That's a large one, but thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Let's move on to Nicholas. So how was the session? And what have you learned?
So the section are actually very great, very impactful. I can say that it's the little thing that matters, and the little things are what I've begin with. And I can say baby steps really, I can see like growing in one aspect to another, learning some few stuff which has been a gap in my day-to-day activities. And it is eye-opening on how important this thing can be even at a big corporate world out there. So yeah, it is very impactful.
So what do you think we should add or improve in the session?
Currently, I see everything it's okay. As far as we proceed, I think I have further insights. But I feel like there are some of our friends who are missing out this information. Maybe if we can have a way of telling them, or a way that Smart Lab can come up with advertising this program more, so that you can reach even much more bigger number of youth.
So in the meantime, you guys we'll share the link in the WhatsApp group. You guys can just keep sharing the links with other people because the registrations are still open. You guys are just the first batch. We want to keep doing it for at least a month. So you can keep sharing and telling a friend to tell a friend and tell a friend. Or we try to advertise on social media and everywhere we can. But help us too. Tell a friend to tell a friend. That would be great.
Cool. Tell a friend to tell a
1
friend.
to 10, how can you rate our session today?
I rate it at 8.
8?
Yeah.
Nice, awesome. Okay, let's move forward to Kupala.
Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we do.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello, we can hear you.
Yeah. On my side, I didn't see how the teamwork. Maybe I was just understanding the definition of the teamwork. But today, I've really enjoyed, and I have got something that I can use in my daily life, especially in university life, because we always work with my colleagues. So I've got something that when I'm in a team, how should I be able to behave with my members? Is just on my perception, what I've learned. Thank you.
That's great. So what would you advise we add or improve?
My side, I'm having nothing to add other than saying that thank you for the session. And I promise that I'll be a good student in attending the session. That's all.
Thank you. So in a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate the session today?
I give you 9.
9? Thank you, Kupala. Let's move on to Furaha.
So, sorry, what was the question again?
So tell us what you got from the sessions and how did you find the session?
Okay, so I have learned some new things that I've never heard about, like the teamwork, the team's models, and also so everything that has been shared as part of the content was something interesting for me, and also even the way of choosing the team models to work with based on the different like uh, how big the team is or how small the team is. And I'm also happy because I've met new people because I like meeting new people. And also something else is I've been discovering based on the role that as I was given to hear from people sharing about their weaknesses, experiences, and strengths. I've learned things for some minutes. Also learned things about myself throughout the process, and so I was learning a lot of things throughout this session.
Okay, thank you for that. So from what would you want urge us to improve or add in the session?
Okay, maybe I've seen that a lot of people we don't ask questions, so maybe we could come up with because I think the more the class is interactive, the more it is interesting and fun. And so maybe you could come up with like a kind of recap, like questions, for example, for a next session, ask question about today's session, what we learned, or maybe one point about the thing that you have talked about to see if people are on track with what you have been learning, something like that. Or maybe at the end of the session also ask whatever question about the things you have been teaching to see if people was still there, because it's virtual and maybe I've just let my mark I'm online but I'm doing something else and I'm not focusing on what is being taught.
Thank you for
That's
that.
my
Thank
opinion.
you so much. So from a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate the session?
I would rate the session to 9.
All right, thank you so much. Let's move on to Meshach.
Yes, hello.
Hello. So how was the session
Oh,
and what did you learn?
so the session was superb. We had an interesting um, lecture. I can say moderator, and I have actually learned a lot of things, including what's important, perhaps on a workplace. Uh, Putting aside just the technical skills that a person may gather elsewhere. For example, yesterday we were talking about critical thinking, and today we're talking about team working. And I've learned different ways that this can be accomplished, and the important factors that are basically considered on this. So yeah, I think that's going to benefit me on some way.
That's great. So what would you recommend we add or what improvement would you recommend for the next sessions?
Mm, yeah, a lot of already been said that the class wasn't as much as interactive. So I was thinking maybe people put on their videos so we could all see each other. I mean, yeah, or maybe it was physically, but we're going to create a WhatsApp group. So I think that's gonna change in some way the way we interact. It's gonna make it better.
Thank you, thank you. So from a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate the session?
I'll give it a 9.52.
Thank you, Mesha. Let's listen to Baruti. So, what would you advise we improve on, Baruti? I know your mic has issues.
See, operations.
Oh, we should start on time. Thank you. Thank you. And we should also come on time. Thank you. How would you rate the session from on a scale of 1 to 10? Again, thank you guys and have a lovely night. Have a wonderful Mwalimu Nyerere Day Memorial tomorrow. I'll see you guys on Thursday.
Thank
Bye.
you and guys.
Thank
Bye.
you. Good evening.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, everyone, and good night.
Thanks.
Oh, good night.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.